Hello, my friends. It's Mark, the Southern Cadman, back with you after a long break. It's been a while since I've had a car for sale. So what do I have today? I've got something pretty cool. Check this out. Submitted for your perusal, this beautiful 1973 Cadillac Fleetwood Brougham. Yes, indeed. Look at this car. Mirage Taupe Metallic. 1973 Fleetwood with 18,000 actual miles on it. A time capsule survivor indeed. Beautiful car, beautiful original paint. And we'll just do a walk by here and you'll see just how straight and clean this car is. When I went to look at this car and it was submitted as 18,000 miles, of course, you always wonder, is it really 18,000? Well, it only took a fraction of a second looking at this car to realize that yes, indeed, it was 18,000 miles. I've owned this car for about 3 years. The kind of car I just simply took pleasure in owning. Really didn't drive it much at all. Just a short, for a short period of time right after acquiring it, and it has been residing in the storage building, protected, since then. You can see up and down the sides just how straight this car is. This is the original lacquer paint. Nothing to kick on here, except a few tiny spots of patina. There's a couple. And just by the nature of lacquer paint, this kind of stuff did happen. The car spent a short period of time outside under the last ownership, and it's probably when the sun got to these few little spots. I actually have or had ordered a quart of the original lacquer Mirage Taupe. I will include that with the car, and you can, if you want to do something about those little spots, there are a few different options you would have. I just didn't really want to get into it. I bought the paint mainly to paint the fillers, which, yes, these cars had fillers. 73. Under the headlights, they have been installed, painted. A pretty darn good match, if I say so myself. And there is a filler on the back. I'll show you that one. That one was a trick to get to. And there it is, under the license plate. And on this model, it was painted body color, best of my research. So there it is, 73 Fleetwood Brougham. Just a stunning, stunning car. The tires have about, 2 miles on them. They are the Vogue wide white wall. Really nice tires. 1.5 inches. The glass is excellent, the paint is excellent. Just a tight original car all the way around. Again, I'll show just a few little things. I was very tempted, and I might still do it depending on what happens with this car, but just to go back with an artist's brush, perhaps, and touch on those little specks where the lacquer has come loose. You can do that, or maybe even airbrush it in and just sort of wet sand it down flush. That's another thought I had, especially on this bigger area here. And then this, but to be honest with you, I don't know, it just kind of gives the car character in my mind. I think I would personally prefer it just the way it is, but there are options. The only other part of the car that has any kind of trouble with the paint is here along this deck, right below the back window. And if you look in there, I did not know this until a friend of mine pointed it out. That is actually part of the body. Apparently this was a persistent problem with the 71 through 3 design, where they would rust inside the window, just right there. And that is not a part that can be replaced. You would have to probably have to have the glass removed and do a little patching if you really wanted to get into it. You can probably tell by the tone of my voice that I wouldn't. So it is, this car is what it is. And what it is amazing, actually. And here's where it really, really becomes undeniable that the mileage is correct. And you look at those leather seats, and you look at some of the details, like the grain on this armrest, without it showing any kind of a slick spot or wear at all. You can see, I have a saying, it's hardest car to clean is a clean car. But look at the detail here, this housing, with all of its production flaws, even apparent. The switchware, the switch gear here, all just super, super clean and bright. The door jambs, sills, all of it, just beautiful. The steering wheel, those of you who know about the faux wood inlay steering wheel, that's something that very commonly gets popped out. It's all there on this all original 18,000 mile 73 Fleetwood. Coloration of all the interior switches, the heater control wheel is really, really fresh looking. Just look at all the fonts and all the lenses, everything like that. It's hard to reproduce this. Look at the little cruise control button. They're only like this once. And there's the mileage, 18,455. The dash. The car has an interesting story. I purchased it from a gentleman who bought it out of the estate from the original owner when he passed away. Look at the carpet. Let's see. Original floor mats, of course, underneath the carpet. Or underneath there, excuse me, the carpet's all perfect. Anyway, the gentleman worked at a bank in Tennessee and actually won the car as a prize. Some sort of contest that the bank was running. So he won a brand new 73 Fleetwood. And basically it was a trophy. He never drove it. He put it in his garage and left it there. That's why the low mileage. You hear stories like that with old cars quite a bit. Back seating area, of course, just as the front is. Just a time capsule. Never smoked in. Got clean. The rear mats. That one has a couple little spots where something discolored it, but other than that, excellent. Has the rear footrests on both sides. Just, you know, here's another thing. If you look at all of this, just nobody was back here. No kids were back here kicking on the backs of the seats or just anything like that. Just like new. Again, look at the door jambs, hinges, everything. Just doesn't get any better. So this car, hardly ever driven, but nonetheless was given a rust prevention treatment. You can see these little plugs here. That was something that was done. A couple of different services I know up north or in any kind of those areas that offered it. I don't know, Z-Bart, Rusty Jones, and there were several different ones. But they basically would spray, drill a small hole, spray an oily compound, and you can see it here. An oily compound up inside the body to keep it from rusting from the inside out. So, a great advantage if you were using these cars in the winter, which I don't think this one ever was. Extremely clean underneath. And we'll actually get into the trunk here, show you that. But these cars, you know, they weren't, you know, I grew up in the 70s as a kid. And I could tell you, cars just didn't last that long back then. Just a few years, especially up north. You didn't expect a lot of longevity out of the body of a car. It's back in the days when, you know, 100,000 miles was considered to be used up. Of Of course, it's not like that now. So with 18,000 miles, this car still has a long way to go, even by those standards. Here's some more of those body plugs you can see. Jacking instructions, just so clean. And look at this. Here's the original spare. Never been down. There's the original tag on it even. Old Firestone. The jack back there, see that gold plating, that vanadium, whatever it is, plating is still intact. Just excellent. Up through here, no crust, no rust. All through this channel. Look at this. Look at the condition of the weather stripping too. Still extremely soft. Tiny separation, but just overall amazing. The chrome? Yeah, the chrome is something. Look at it. That's a bumper. Just super straight, super clean. And going down the road, it drives as good as it looks. As the original tuxedo grain top. Some kind of little boxing or something on there. That might, there's a chance that would come off. But you worked at it enough. Look at the chrome on the door handles. Stuff like this is just hard to reproduce. You just wouldn't reproduce it. They're like this once. As I said, the tires have about, no kidding, about 2 miles on them. And we're going to double the miles as we take it for a little ride here. See what a pleasure this car is. Front bumper, amazing. The grille, the chrome plastic grille. Yeah, it is plated plastic grille in this model. Just amazing condition. No road water drops. Hubcaps don't have a peck on them whatsoever. Just like new. I just drove all the way home realizing I had been talking to myself. So I was trying to do a driving video and realized pretty much when I was pulling into my driveway that it was sitting on 0 seconds. So let's try that again. Here we are. Fires right up beautifully. I'll probably go get some hot non-ethanol fuel here soon for it, but we will go with it as it is for the moment. This car drives incredibly tight. It really feels like the miles, which are 18,457 as we speak. I drove this car very, very little after getting it home. You know, with 18,000 miles, it was just hard for me to watch that odometer move. I had other things I could drive and enjoy, so my enjoyment was just preserving this car. Just owning it gave me some pleasure, and that was 3 years ago when I bought it. The acceleration is smooth, the 472 runs beautifully. The original exhaust system is actually in pretty good shape. The front end, even the shocks. This is such a smooth car. The front end, the bushings, all that stuff is tight with 18,000 miles on it. Nothing's dried out. It feels as new, really. Very, very tight, tall going down the road. Very commanding ride. One of the interesting things I had noted on my video that didn't record was that this car actually has a seatbelt buzzer that I didn't know these cars had. I've had these cars before, but I think all the ones I'd had were disconnected. drove straight down the road. It was a really enjoyable drive home when I bought the car, and that was on old tires. So my one big splurge has been the set of Vogue wide whites that I showed you. I'm trying to think if there's much of anything else I did. The fillers, but this is a preservation car, really, in my mind. It's not something I got into heavily. If you were going to drive it a lot, you would certainly want to take a look at the belts and hoses and things like that. But you know, with this low mileage, I just, again, to my philosophy was to preserve as it was. Turbo 400 transmissions, it shifts extremely smoothly. Again, the engine, just driving down the road. If you've seen the original Gone in 60 Seconds, the first few minutes of that movie featured the main character driving a 73 Fleetwood with this very view. He was holding the camera apparently, or someone in the back seat was, and you can see out over the hood, and several pair of sunglasses on the hood, and he was flying and going about 80 miles an hour. We won't reproduce the scene, but very cool. Made me think of it immediately. In fact, I got so jazzed up about it, I watched the movie last night, or at least that part of it. If you haven't seen it, it was actually free on YouTube. Now I don't know if it's free for everybody, but it's on there. Yeah, she'll get up and go. Whoever gets this car is going to love it. There will be no disappointments. It can't be any better. I mean, you won't find a nicer, tighter car than this for the year. 73 Fleetwood. I mean, and it's a Fleetwood. How cool! Which of course has the pillar between the front and back windows, the V pillar. That's what you got with the Fleetwood. So around the block we go. Next trip will be to the gas station. I don't want to run it any lower than it is. But if you like the car, if you want to talk about it, give me a call, and yeah, we can put something together. I can help with shipping. I've got a contact who does a great job with enclosed shipping anywhere. And my wife informed me last night that she'll be sorry to see this one go. Well, it might have been better for her to say that before I got it ready to sell. But anyway, here we are. So you give me a call. My name's Mark, and see what we can do.